as a kid, you just look for things to do, I think. And I just love the feeling of getting on a board and bombing a hill, and just the idea of learning a new trick was just a really exciting proposition for a young kid. It's the only sort of lifestyle activity similar to surfing where you can have, granddad rocks up and the grandson or granddaughter rocks up and everyone's on a skateboard and we're all skating, and everyone can do it.
Age has never been a thing with skateboarding, which is
No,
sick.
definitely age is definitely not.
Doesn't even exist.
First time since the 60s, there's heaps of little kids participating. You see them bonding with other kids their age, and you see the teenagers bonding, but then you see cross-generational kind of friendships.
I've met pretty much everyone that skates here.
Yeah. And do you feel like it's a really nice connection that you build from this skate park?
Yeah.
I feel like when I go to new skate parks, I can't feel nervous about people. Everyone's nicer, so I know that I'm safe.
It's a group of friends who just get off on going skating and yelling at each other when they do something crazy, and enjoying the stoke of it, just going, oh, that was fantastic.
But our group, I can go anywhere from someone that's probably 15, 16 to mid-40s on any given day, and that would be the group of people I'd be hanging out with. It was, for me, mainly something to do in a country town because everything else sucked.
Yeah, I didn't want to play footy.
Yeah.
So we might not necessarily fit in with the traditional want to play footy or netball or whatever like that. And it's a good space where you've got people from all different walks of life, but we've got the one thing that's skateboarding in common. And we're all very different, but we also get along and we help each other out. And it's sort of a very inclusive space where it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you want to come down, have a go, have a crack, you're going to be welcomed and you'll have a lot of fun doing it.
But it's true though, it's so many, skateboarding has a weird thing where people just rock up and you're instantly friends. I know for a fact that skateboarding's definitely saved my life countless times.
Sure.
Yeah, countless times. And it also made me travel the world.
Same.
Yeah, which is crazy. And met people from other countries and then they're like, come visit. And then I've done art shows overseas just from people I've met here and then traveled to where they're from because they've stayed on my couch. And then you get there and they're like, dude, we're doing this thing you want to do some art for, and you're like, yeah, why not? And then before you know it, you're accidentally doing a group show in another country and you're like, well, I'm here now.
I've skated in Canada, I've skated in other parts of Australia. It doesn't matter where I go. If I rock up to the skate park and I pull my skateboard out of the car and I go to the park, the locals are like, hey man, how you doing? They want to know who's this new person at our park. We do it here at our park. Some tourist or traveler or from France or Germany rocks up, or met some Canadian skate girls and guys, and they rock up and it's like, hey, how you doing? Where are you from? Oh, skater, cool, awesome.
I've got lifelong friends and support for sure. Compared to
and a career.
And a career. Yeah, and a life. Thanks, skateboarding. It sums up so much skateboarding, it's a brotherhood, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Community.
We've created our own little niche market of skate, and without the skate park in town, you'd just have you'd still have a skate crew, but you'd be sort of disjointed. Having the skate parks giving us a place to meet, having the skate shops giving us a place to meet, and it's fostered a nice little community, and that community has a voice now that we've been able to bring our concerns up to council, and we've got this really rad new skate park development that's come about on the back of a town that had a skate shop, that had a skate culture, that had a crew of skaters that had a voice together, and the skate park was, you know, our place. There's probably a couple different schools of thought on skateboarding, you know, whether it's an art form in itself, and I think it is, and you know, whether it's a sport with extreme athleticism to it, and it's that as well. So there's a real cross-section of the skateboarding community that, you know, artistic, counterculture, I just do it because I love it attitude. I think that's really healthy. And then there's others that, you know, train at it like a sport, from, you know, the first little grommies learning how to skate to, you know, old dudes that I still look up to and think, wow, man, like, you're still skating and you're 65. Wow, that's inspiring. I'm inspired to be like that. I want to keep skating when I'm 65.
Yeah.
To me, skateboarding's outside of sport. It has a lot of DIY creative elements, from building your own, back in, you know, 50s before commercialised skateboards. That's where it comes from. Kids slapping together the old roller skate wheels on a 2x4 or whatever.
It's not really a subculture anymore. It's a culture.
It's so cool. That creative side has always been you know, if there isn't a ramp, make one. You know, if there isn't a place to skate, find one.
You know, there's a stair set there, I can use that. There's a ledge, I can maybe slide on that. And sort of that built environment has always been something that wasn't necessarily made for skaters, but the creative element kind of allowed it to be used by skaters.
You see the landscape differently, and same with art. You sort of look at things differently. You see cracks and lines, and you see colors and space. And skateboarding, you sort of see it the same sort of way. You look at that space in the environment, and it becomes something else. That's what I think is special.
You'll find that probably most of us down here will skate, and then, you know, there's rappers, there's musicians, there's artists, photographers. We all sort of have a little bit of a creative streak, and even with skating itself, you'll find that, you know, even though it's a physical activity, I know the way I approach it, it's an art form in itself. I'm drawing lines when I'm skating around, like cruising through the bowl. It's all, where can I go here, where can I go there, how's that going to translate into something that looks good and something that, you know, feels good.
The movement, you know, I think Gon said something about being a form of urban dance or something, and there's that, you know, it's like some sort of weird interpretive dance thing going on, like a weird performance art when you're in a skate park, and to an extent you're performing not just for yourself but for the people around you.
So I think in terms of community-wise, I think having a space for both artists and skateboarders and performers, I think that's really, really important, especially regionally. Like, you can go to Melbourne and you'll find anywhere that you can go and express yourself, and it's no big deal at all. But around here you have to kind of really look a lot harder. And so I think in terms of like the connection between the two, I think they could go together really well. Like, I think the art community and the skateboarding community, like, there is a lot of similarities with them in terms of how they express themselves.
It's sort of rolling around this weird little contraption with 4 wheels on it and stuff. It's kind of a pretty weird thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, I need a little magic carpet, you know.